What up, I'm Josh Paulson, a pro game programmer, and today I'm going to do more of a vlog style again where I just talk about what I've been up to lately, and I guess it's been a lot. I kind of am used to that and I like keeping busy, but anyway, we'll get into that soon. Roll the intro. Alright, let's play some music. So, let's play some music. So one of the things that I've been working on have been my tools, which are usually working quite well. Play some music. And part of the reason is because I know that, especially as we're moving into launch time for Archmage Rises, I'm not going to have much time to make videos. But I know that, I think that there's a lot of interesting stuff that I could talk about coming around those times and kind of reflecting. And for other people who are interested in what that can look like in the industry, play some music. And that would just provide a lot of value, be really interesting. But unless I have tooling and stuff that will play some music, it's going to be hard for me to keep up any of that and to have a good flow going. Dagnabbit, why isn't this playing me some music? It's supposed to be beautiful and perfect and flawless and never give me troubles ever. I don't know why that suddenly triggered, but anyway. So what have I been up to? I haven't talked much about what I've been up to the last few weeks, and I've been up to quite a bit, but one of the big things that I'm keeping in mind is what is draining me, what is energizing me, and trying to figure out how to balance that, because obviously, there's a big difference between being busy and being drained. You could be not very busy and be very drained, and alternatively, you could be extremely busy and have tons of energy. And so I'm trying to assess not necessarily am I busy, but rather am I drained, am I energized, is this work energizing or draining me? And one of the things that I realized, like looking at the video content for a bit, was, okay, so there are aspects of it that I really enjoy and that are helpful and energizing, and I think are moving me towards some goals that I have, like wanting to be able to, I feel like maybe this sounds terrible to say, or this is like a bad thing to say in a video, but I am looking to grow influence. I'm looking to be able to reach and help more people. And I know that for me, when I was starting off in game dev, being able to have more of a direct connection with somebody actually working in the industry, that would have meant the world. And over time, when I started to build those connections, it did. So if I can provide a sliver of that to somebody else, then to me, that's a win. And so, yeah, I want to, and in that way, have influence in helping people. I want to make sure that I never get in my own head and make it all by myself, because that's gross and not helpful. And so that's just a self-accountability thing and other people accountability thing. But there's an aspect of influence where it's like, yeah, I want to be able to influence for the better. And one opportunity that I've had for that, which has been really cool, has been helping out with CauseJam. So I have been working with Games for Love for like 2 years. It's volunteer organization where they end up helping children in hospitals by providing them game consoles and such, so that they can end up they can have something fun and something that can kind of just, it gives them something enjoyable to do while they're there versus nothing or just watching the same TV shows. It's just something fun, something good, and it's also that they'll also pay for procedures and help with different situations that are difficult for kids like that, and stories of them saving kids' lives, doing really cool things. So I just really like it. And recently what we've been doing is called CauseJam, where people will have a bunch of game devs make games in a month. Actually, the game jam happens monthly, but every month. And then we'll sell those games in bundles, and each bundle goes to help a kid in a hospital. So I've been coaching. So I ended up coaching one of the teams Thursday, and that went really well. It was something where I realized that one of the things that I have to be careful with is that there's a lot of things that I unfortunately take for granted at this point, where I'm just like, oh yeah, this is what I'm used to. And maybe that sounds terrible to say. I don't know if it does, but I guess it's one of those things where doing it 9 to 5 and starting in game dev, making games when I was like 11 years old, and then doing level design stuff when I was 4 years old, there's way too much I take for granted. And so yeah, I was able to help with some different pieces and things that I've learned over my last game jams. I've done a fair amount now at this point, and that was cool. I really enjoy doing that, and that's really cool, and I find that energizing. So that's the type of thing where I'm like, okay, it's busy, but it's energizing for me and I really enjoy it. I am also making a game to just help with the first game jam getting off. I probably won't be making games in future game jams. I plan to keep doing the coaching because that's energizing and I love doing that, but probably won't be making games for future game jams with CauseJam, just because we're hitting release soon. Next month we're going to be hitting alpha with Archmage Rises, and then we're looking to hit our early access early next year, and I just know there's going to be a lot of busyness. Adding on a game jam, not a good idea for that. So anyway, here is the very basics of what I got so far, and I also ended up creating a game design document and a task list for someone else who's joining up in the team. Basically, you pull weeds, and it's very very basic right now. I plan to have it so that you pick up a weed, you hold it, and you throw it. One of the things that's great working on projects now when it comes to these sorts of things is that now I actually know how to do these things really quickly. So I mean, it used to be that I'd be like, oh wait, okay, so in Unity, how do I create these instances? How do I grab these objects? How do I connect all these things together? And now I'm like, I know what to do, I know what to do, I know what to do. And honestly, it's been way too long since I worked on a project where I wasn't learning a ton of new things. And I know there's always new things to learn, and I love learning new things. I love that being a thing. But one of the things that's been very cool and exciting, but also it takes a lot of mental energy, is recently at work I've been learning like 5 different things at once. So I've been learning Windows Forms in order to create some tooling, and that tooling allows us to add all the design data in the game. And so I've also been learning code generation. So I've been generating code that allows us to hook into all instances in the game in order to access any value by text without using reflection, and then also how to and then also getting all of these kind of containers for design data. And also then I've been working on the save system for the game and making sure that that can run efficiently, and there's a lot of performance optimization I still have to do on that. And so I've just been learning a lot of different things at once. And I was working with the lead designer recently. I think that I don't know what his exact title is. Right now he's the lead designer. He's leading the design right now. So I just sat down and talked with him, and I was like, okay, like we need to have a cascading task list just so that we can see what are the most important things for me to do. And then as I hit those, we can say, okay, we're getting the minimum that we need for our next step, and just making sure that we knock out the most important things in order and that we move things forward. So yeah, I've been learning a ton of new things at work, which is exciting, but also it's like, whoa, I'm like learning 5 new things at once, and this is a lot, but also it seems like we're making good progress, and it seems like it's going really well. It's just that there's a lot of new things to learn, and so it might sound kind of weird, but for me, like refactoring, having light projects, that can be kind of relaxing. It's like, oh, I know how to do this. I guess it's a little bit like maybe if this is probably a terrible example because I don't know if this is true, but I would think of it as a comparison of running a sprint versus taking a walk. It's like taking a walk, it's nice. Doing this game jam, doing some light refactoring, that's really nice. So I've been doing that. So with work, yeah, I've been doing all those different things, code generation, save system work. I've been working on our tooling for accessing all the design data. And then I've been helping out with coaching for College Jam Redemption. I've also got the side project Connect that I've been working on. And basically I just work on it on my stream on Saturdays. And so I put like 2 hours towards it every week and a little bit of communication. And so that way it's something that I can keep making regular progress on, but it's not overwhelming because I don't need that. And so a lot of it I find is about figuring out the balance and where is it energizing. Like I find that for me, streaming is like, it's kind of a necessary outlet. Like I'm a high energy person, and for some people that's kind of freaky and like, what the crap are you doing, or like or it just seems like, but for me it's very authentic. I'm like, no, I really am this excited. I'm moving my arms because I'm happy. I'm not, it's like I like performance as well and acting, but I think there's a performance that is inauthentic in that it's like pretending that you're happy when you're not, or things like that. And then there's a performance that I would consider to be authentic, where it's like, no, I'm just expressing this to you, like this is actually where I'm at and I'm letting you know. And so for me, it's this very it's this big release. It's like, it is social. This is kind of sad, I guess, but it's socially acceptable for me to express how happy I am right now. That's something I need to work on. Anyway, so yeah, so that's where streaming fits in. That's what I've been doing at work. That's what I've been doing with Games for Love. That's what I've been doing on the side. Besides that, I've been working on a bunch of tooling for my stream and for all this. So like when I'm doing the text-to-speech and stuff like that, the reason why I'm jumping into a bunch of stuff like that is really because I know that, especially as we're moving into alpha with Archmage Rises and like just continuing on these projects, any contract work, I am not going to be able to have these complex, like I'm not going to be able to spend 4 hours editing a video. I'm just not. But I want to be able to have high quality content that I can put out even during those times, and I'm working on more things to do that. And so for me, it's a big investment of time, but it's an investment that I think will pay off, and then I can keep using it into the future. And my goal is really to be able to efficiently produce high quality content. And the problem whenever you're working on process or tooling is that it's always going to start low quality. It's always going to start kind of crappy. And so my goal is really to figure out, how do I make it better, faster? How do I have a good flow? How do I hit, I'm not saying that with the directness that I want to hit a good pace, and then I want to increase the quality at that pace. And I want to hit a good pace with a level of effort that I can maintain. If I start with an unmaintainable level of effort, then it's just going to die at some point. There's nothing I can do about that. Obviously, I can always grow and work on improving, and I can delegate and do different things. And I have paid other people to help out with different pieces, like the branding, and I've paid 2 people to help with some editing actually, and I'm excited about those things. But there's also just the general pace. There's got to be a reasonable pace, or else you can't keep the pace. And I would love to be able to, even when things get a bit tight at work, see if I can do even short updates, just because I think that would be very interesting for people to be like, what is it actually like going through the release time? How does that feel? What are some of the thoughts? And I want to be able to share that. So yeah, we're going to be hitting alpha here soon, and then we're going to be releasing early next year is our target, which we have been sharing, and so I could say that. Don't remember if we set a specific date, so I'm not gonna go any more specific. Maybe we have. I ought to double check that instead of just talking, but I'm gonna keep talking because, as I mentioned, I have to keep a flow going in order to. That's terrible. That's awful. I'm gonna put this in anyway. So, yeah, if you have any questions, and I also don't know if this type of content is as interesting, if it's more interesting. I know that I've seen people be very interested in, hey, what have I been up to? What was my first year like in the industry? Stuff like that. If you have any questions for me, hey, what's this piece of the work been like? Or do you have any questions or thoughts about this? Feel free to throw it at me. I have opinions. I don't know, maybe that's interesting to you. And at this point, I'm really just trying to figure out what is it that's most interesting to other people, because I found that certain pieces are very interesting. I have no idea what to add to that. Comment below what you're interested in. Hope they have a fantastic rest of your day, and thanks for sticking around. That seems like a terrible way of putting it. That makes it sound like I think this is a bad video. I think this is a good video, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. Take care.